Hello again, everybody. I think I'll actually walk back through Riften and go out the south side, because there's an actual road to Iverstead that way. And going along the road usually makes for better scenery, better role-playing, and more random encounters, and thus, usually more fun. Speaking of hitting the road, Mara and I are going to be going on a fairly long vacation quite soon, which will take us away from our computers and the ability to upload these videos. So I intend to record several in advance and try to have YouTube post those more or less on time.
Nope, sorry.
For those of you who watch my Age of Mythology series, I am working on the next video. The same thing applies about going on vacation, but I hope to have the next episode recorded before then. The next mission is widely regarded, quite correctly, as the hardest one in the entire game, so I'm still struggling to get a good enough recording to actually be presentable. All my current runs that I win have taken me more than like 2 hours to finally grind the enemy down, so trying to get a better one than that before I post things. I'll keep working on it. Once I get past this outlying farm here, I'll switch back into my combat traveling gear. There are always huge numbers of guards patrolling around every Riften farmhouse. And I know the Riften guards are corrupt and all, but it still seems very strange how often those farmers get robbed. That's the bridge over to Golden Glow Estate where you go for one of the lousy Thieves Guild quests. Really quite a boring one. Like all the Thieves Guild quests, it involves basically no actual thievery, and the story makes no sense whatsoever. Alright, well, I think I'm far enough away here I could... something over there. Can't tell what. But I will change into Morokai. And... yeah, that looks good. Yeah, let's switch my shout to Kind's Peace, actually. And I may as well muffle myself, too. I don't want to use that skill too much. I don't level up any further now that I have the perk I was building toward. But it is useful to get the drop on animals. Now, Esbern will pick fights with any kind of potentially hostile wildlife, like most followers. So I may get dragged into lots of random fights with wolves that I might have been able to avoid myself with Muffle. Oh well. Like all followers, he's a huge asset and basically trivializes the entire game, which is why I never use them. What's that? Some kind of random... is that like a vigilant vampire hunter fighting a vampire? Maybe. Looks like it. Okay, because I'm going to detect one of them. So I'll take off my mask, so I don't have to give things away to this vampire hunter, and go help kill that vampire. Hjalti does despise vampires. You generally find the vampires running from them, and apparently getting wrecked by them. Which really undercuts the game, keeps talking about the vigilance being totally not prepared for fighting vampires, when they clearly actually crush them. But whatever. That's either my follower or his summons. He summons his own Atronachs. He's one of the few followers who can do that, so he's like 2 followers in 1 almost. Nice. Ooh, pretty sweet. Oh wow, really sweet stuff.
Well met, friend.
They really suspect
Chasing that
not a
thing
thing.
for a long time. On behalf of the Vigil, you have my thanks.
But yes, all vampires are vermin to Hjalti, and he's happy to help hunt them down and destroy them. Ah, there's the orcs fighting the giant over there for part of the Malakath quest, which I won't be doing. Both because it makes no sense in character to get involved with that, and because the item is totally worthless for me. It's a Volendrum, giant 2-handed warhammer, basically. That's a frosted over there. Ah, okay, we're gonna have to fight it. It's actually a solid 2-handed weapon. Its enchantment is quite useful, although it's not unique. It basically just lets you restore stamina. Oh, whoa! Lets you rather, I think I better Kind's Peace this guy. Okay. Now, if I attack the spider, it will probably re-aggro the bear too. But with Esbern here, I'm not too concerned about that. Maybe not. Maybe just the spider. That's rare. I think I will fight the bear. With all these guys here to back me up, I'm not too concerned about it. Not that Esbern will tank, really. He will often end up in that role, but he does try to stay there. And I'm trying to keep my Atronach alive by stunning the bear whenever it rears back. That's a power attack. It's best to stun before it gets to execute that. It doesn't always work, sometimes it kind of just ignores your stun because it's odd animations. Oh goody. Day is here. Guess I better switch to my ring of recharging. Hjalti is not only tired and hungry, but very, very thirsty too. If he didn't have Esbern here, he'd probably just feast on the first passerby. Was this like a thief fighting a bear over there? Whoa! Thief getting killed by a bear. Well, it saves me the trouble, I guess. Mixed of random encounters. Alas, poor random thief would have died trying to mug me. At least he took care of most of that bear for me. Anyway, so I was thinking about Volendrung. The enchantment lets you steal stamina on hit, which basically just lets you power attack endlessly, which is extremely boring and cheesy, but very effective. You could, of course, just make your own more useful version of that enchantment that would have just like steal 1 point of stamina and have like a billion charges, but still a usable weapon. More than you can say for a lot of the Daedric items, which has been true in like every game in this series, really. All the more so in the ones where you can actually customize your own equipment and make it strong, like this one. Well, we're like halfway through the Rift countryside. Once I get to the base of the pass, I will be able to just skip up to Riverwood, because it'll prove that I can get to the actual dangerous areas. There's never any kind of actual threat in the pass, or the area near Riverwood. Still some distance to go. I guess that's Treva's Watch, where I'm coming up. Place where I got this wonderful spell tome that I've been relying upon ever since. Can we get by that spider undetected? I hope so, but I doubt it. Nope. Alright, fine. Conjuration up. That, I guess. I may someday want to take a few of those conjuration perks, but it's really low priority. If I truly have nothing else to spend perks on, which may happen at like level 30 plus or so. Esbern, very useful follower because he summons his own Atronach, so he's like 2 in 1. And even one follower breaks the game and makes everything unlosable. So I'll get rid of him as soon as I can dispose of him in the main quest. It's going to be a long day of traveling today. I want to get most of the way to Castle Volkihar, which is, again, as I complained about before, all the way across Skyrim. So there's vast amounts of trekking back and forth. But I also need to advance the main quest, which has several major stops along the way there that I'll be taking care of. You're a bear. Way up there. But if I can get by it without fighting it, I'll do so. But I suspect Esbern will pick the fight. Maybe not. Okay, that's a rarity. Nice. As soon as I get rid of Esbern, I can find somebody to feed on too. Should be pretty easy because, of course, I have Vampire Seduction now. Always happens whenever your vampirism stage advances. Very convenient. Bunch of wolves up there fighting a troll. I'm content to leave those alone. Esbern may not be. Who's this? Blue. We'll see if it's... Oh, it might be another... Wow, another thief. Really? It's like a dark elf or a...
Alright,
Yep.
hand over your valuables, or I'll gut you like a...
Sounds like Esbern's getting into a fight.
Nice. I'm not going to ask again. Don't you walk away
I hate
from
how
me.
they attack you in mid-conversation. It's cheating. Let me switch actually to my ice spells. Well, fire, because that's all I had open at the time. I would love to just drink this thief's blood, but can't really do it. Oh! A troll fighting a bear. Well, the bear will win that fight pretty... So the troll will win that fight very easily because it can regenerate so much. If I can get like Esbern in on it... Why did I use fire again? Oops. If I can get Esbern in it, we can win fairly easy fight out doing this regeneration, keeping the heat on. I am getting a little bit tired of this encounter. I feel like we've seen it so many times. Alright. What kind of valuables did you have? Probably not enough to retire on, okay. Is Esbern coming? Alright. If he wants to fight that troll, honestly, I am just going to leave him behind and he will catch up at the next cutscene. It doesn't make sense in character. We just assume Kaldi actually helps him out, but like, there's no way I'm going to waste all this time with him chasing off across the countryside after random harmless things. Irish said, I'm looking for help. Yep, okay, good. Oh, another one. Who are these people? Oh, just Stormcloaks? Okay. Oh, looks like they're about to start a fight with the troll. I will take off... Oh, I already have. Circle on. Great.
I don't want some snotty elf telling me what gods I can and can't worship.
Very reasonable.
You know any true daughters of Skyrim? Tell them to head to Winnipeg.
It doesn't really make any sense that like the elves would truly doubt that Talos is a god because he's like objectively, verifiably a god, and the elves had never disputed that in hundreds and hundreds of years. But for lore reasons, they may have reasons to want to stamp out worship of him, even though they might know full well that he really is a god. Well, I've just about reached the base of the pass here. Anything else ready to jump out at me? Now's your last shot. So I'm about to... Actually, one more bear? Okay. So I'll pacify that thing, and then we'll be done with this place. Or maybe not. Oh, they're just deer. Yep, okay, we've reached the pass. Off we go to Riverwood. Now, if I was the writer or the scenario designer or whatever, I think this would be the point at which I'd have the Thalmor catch up to us after we've been so sloppy about hiding ourselves and, attack this town and, kill or potentially kill, some of these NPCs we've gotten, to know and like and have some real consequences for us having messed with them and been so sloppy and traceable about it. But no, this is the point at which we never again hear from the Thalmor. They basically just drop off the face of the earth. They show up for, like, one unimportant thing in, like, the Civil War quest line, but really just a triviality, doesn't impact the quest in any way. They don't present any kind of vengeance against us or anything like that.
Delphine.
We just talk right in the open here. They can be random, in patrons.
It's been a long time.
It's been too long, old friend. Too long. Well, then. You made it safe and sound. Good. Come on, I have a
Talks
place
about
we
her
can talk.
secret hidey hole down in the basement right in front of the guests.
Hold down the bar for a minute, will you?
Yeah, sure.
This way.
Alright, so Mr. Exposition here has a lot of things to tell us, most of which won't actually matter. None of which will actually really matter beyond just, like, the next step of the main quest, which could have been developed much more naturally with a lot less of the boring exposition. Oh well. Oh, this is going to block the way? Oh, never mind, okay, fine. Sprinting at people is the best way to push them out of your way, generally speaking.
Now then. I assume you know about...
Oh yes, Dragon Ball. Indeed, yes. Oh, this changes everything, of course. There's no time to lose, so we must locate. Let me show you. I know I had it here somewhere.
His animations here are really out of sync with his dialogue.
Give me just a moment.
Like, he should have started patting himself down for his item several lines ago.
Here it is. Come. You see, right here.
Somewhat interesting book, I'll pick it up.
Skyhaven Temple. Constructed around one of the main Akaviri military camps in the region.
It makes more sense if you had the book, open, but whatever.
Do you know what he's talking
Yes, it's the beginning of the Blades, and you should know full well all about it.
This is where they built Aldrin's Wall.
Aldrin's Wall just made up for this game, no previous mention of it. Alduin, of course, has been mentioned in numerous lore books back to the beginning of lore books.
A wise and foresighted policy in the event. Despite
Kind of.
the far
The wall didn't actually have any important information on it.
At the time, one of the wonders of the ancient world, its location was lost.
This doesn't make a bit of sense, but they did manage to lose an entire pass somehow,
You mean-
so
You
whatever.
don't mean to say you haven't heard of Aldrin's Wall? Either of you?
Let's pretend we haven't. What's Alduin's Wall, and what does it have to do with stopping the dragons?
Aldrin's Wall was where the ancient blades recorded all they knew of Aldwin and his return. Part history, part prophecy. His location has been lost for centuries, but I have found it again. Not lost, you see, just forgotten.
This location's pretty obvious. It's just that,
Blades
like, the
Archives
only
held
Blades
so many
temple
secrets.
here in
I was
Skyrim.
only able to save a few scraps.
But-
So you think that Alduin's wall will tell us how to defeat Alduin?
Well, yes. But there's no guarantee, of course.
I would like to think that it's
I
like clever
haven't
writing
told
that
what it is, then.
it doesn't tell us anything
I
about
knew
him,
you
but I think
had
it's just
something for
sloppy
us.
writing instead, that the entire
I
place is
know the
basically
area
just
of
filler.
the reach that Esperon's talking about.
It's
Near
you know,
what's
moderately
now known
interesting
as
looking. It's a
Karthspire,
cool
in the
location,
Karth
but
River
a
Canyon.
missed opportunity.
We can meet you there, or
Nothing
all
you do
travel
there really
together.
matters.
Your call. From Riverwood, the road south through Falkreath is the most direct route.
Bzzzt. It's a
Or you
pointless,
may catch the
stupid
ferry
detour that
from
will delay you
Whiterun
by
to
more than like an
Markarth,
hour.
and then approach from the west.
There's
Either
never any
way,
reason to go
the
through
reach is
Falkreath. It's
wild
completely off the
country
beaten
these
path.
days.
You should just go up to Whiterun and go west
Forsworn
from there and
are
basically head for
everywhere.
Markarth.
Best be careful.
Alright, so now's the chance to get rid of the two of them and not have followers.
Your call. Might
It
be
also
safer
makes
to
more
travel
sense to go
separately,
without them because they
attract less
attract so much
attention
attention
that way.
and...
Don't worry.
Plus,
we'll
I
get
have my own
Esbern
business
there
to
in
attend
one
to.
piece. We'll wait for you near Karthspire. Good luck.
Take this book, which they would just leave on the table there. I'll read that later. She hasn't had time to restock the place, so nothing to loot. I do like, you know, minor details like just the
Orgnar,
interesting
this is it.
Nord style of these beds and
The inn is
whatnot.
yours.
Kind of is
Probably
reminiscent of their
never coming
dragon
back here.
carvings in their tombs and things
Well,
like that.
now, that's something to think about.
This dialogue is another
Take
missed
care of
opportunity.
yourself, Orgnar.
Like, I know he's like, you know, a stoic, taciturn kind of guy,
sure.
but there could have
You
really
two
been more
tough.
dialogue between the two of
You
these
be
old
safe.
friends as they, you know, part forever. Oh well.
We got rooms and food. Let's sate that appetite, hmm?
I can use more ale for crafting. Hmm. That'll do.
All right then.
I think we'll just go over here and I'll change clothes. He stays friendly to you. Everything in the inn stays, you know, takeable. Now that it's his. Right. Do some haggling. Time to get rid of some of this gear that I've been carrying around forever. Ah, the sun is so bright. She'll leave eventually and get to the Karthspire area before you, no matter what. They don't really have an interesting dialogue along the way, so they're not missing out on
Looking
much
for
by
a new blade?
not going with them. This is your opportunity for just like
Finest
power gaming, not trying to
weapons
have any
and
kind of
armor.
challenge, to have 2 free bonus followers, basically. A rare situation, because usually only limited to 1. Nothing useful at all. Okay. Well, why don't you take that and that? Those things sell for a lot of money, as you
Till
can
next
see.
time.
Which makes them ideal if you're doing any kind of enchanting crafting, because not only your, you know, obviously money, but also your experience is based on the price of the items that you make. So, Turn Undead is one of the best effects for weapons. People talk a lot about how great Banished Daedra is, and it is like the best weapon pretty much, but it's only available at really, really, really high levels. So, throughout most of the game, you should be crafting with Turn Undead for weapons. It's also not like a bad effect. I'm high enough level now to have Adept robes available. They're 2% better for destruction cost reduction than my Archmage robes, actually, but they don't reduce any other skull, so not worth it. Nothing good here. Alright, well. Those things I can sell to a blacksmith. What are hard to sell? Some of those, maybe. I do want to sell some of those in Whiterun, you know, spread Hjalti's reputation for killing Thalmor. This thing, it's not really heavy, but it's hard to sell. Blacksmithable. Some of these could be probably just miscellaneous stuff, though. I think I'm going to be able to dispose of most of what I've got, actually. So I may just get rid of some of these soul gems and whatnot, which are weighing me down a little bit, and I'm never going to use. Whatever. Change back to my traveling clothes. Hjalti thinks he can make it to Whiterun, get some sleep, and then it'll be nightfall and he can find somebody to feed upon. He'll feel more comfortable doing that in a large city where he could blend in with the crowds, and he's not like so starved yet that he's going to just like attack some passerby when he'd probably be caught.
Warm drinks and warm beds.
Alright. Back into adventuring clothes, although the road between here and Whiterun is so short and so clear that I could probably just make it. Alright. If we do encounter a lone random traveler, he may be fed upon. Now that we don't have Esbern looking over our shoulders. My previous attempt to record this was just like an hour and a half of constant carnage and like random encounters, one after another, just like luring in random wandering monsters from there, and really just pure chaos. Made it through alright. Then I found out the microphone had not been recording anything because NVIDIA's settings got changed by one of their updates and it turned off my microphone without notifying me in any way. So that was a nuisance. Ah, well. Ooh, whoa. Alright. We'll see what a random encounter is around here. I do like the variety of different kinds of cloud patterns and weather you can have. It's fun, makes it feel realistic. I hope some future Elder Scrolls game will have seasons in it. I imagine like an easier way to do that would be to have some kind of province that doesn't actually have 4 seasons, like some place that might have just like a wet, dry season kind of routine going on. Could make for an easier time with developers getting a feel for that kind of thing in this kind of massive open world. Lots of provinces might fit that kind of description, but we don't know much about them all yet. Cutting across country though to save this gigantic loop of road. Whiterun really looks like a very imposing fortress as well as a big city. But it's not really, as we will see later on. I feel like the city layout doesn't really make all that much sense ultimately. It's like built to be a giant fortification, and yet it doesn't function as one. It is instead a trading city, but it isn't really built to be one of those because it has like one inconveniently located gate. So, it doesn't really make that much sense. And I wish we had some kind of background explanation of why it's in such disrepair now. It's clearly was once like a huge fortress with huge walls, but they've been allowed to suffer and fall into disrepair. And like, there should be a reason for that. I'd like if we got some kind of lore like the previous Jarl was really bad with money and put them deep into debt and couldn't repair things, or like there's been some kind of gradual grinding calamity in the city that they had fallen on hard times, didn't have the funds anymore, or like anything could explain it. Or like some kind of quarry ran out of stone, good stone nearby, so they started just, using up old stones from the walls. All kinds of ways you could explain it that would add some settings and explanation to it, but oh well. It is at least a cool aesthetic to have this slightly prosperous, slightly crumbling old place with rivers flowing through it. Kelty is very glad to have finally reached town where we can hopefully find a dry place to stay. Fired. Have some time to eat some food. He's so hungry. Didn't have time to eat on the road with all those encounters and whatnot. Shopping can wait. Fire and place to warm up cannot. Isolde might have restocked her cheese supply. She often had one wheel over here somewhere. No, guess not. Alright.
If it's work you need, sure thing. It's yours for it. Let's sate that appetite,
What have you got? I think I have enough of that, but I'll pick up some anyway, just in case. Ooh, she actually has one. I haven't seen one of those actually sold in a long, long time. It's kind of ridiculous. Plenty of sweets for Hjalti.
I'll show you to your room, right this way.
Maybe I'll go cook up some Elsewhere fondue with my moon sugar over here. Do up 1 unit of that, I think. Reduces the carrying weight just a little bit. Do have enough ale at long last. It was bizarre when that was hard to come by. Should be a common drink. Doing her weird innkeeper
Let me know if
thing.
there's anything else you need.
Well, I'll just sit up here where I can survey the room, get the smell of the city. Now that I'm a vampire, I probably have a sharper nose. Mentioned in a few games. So, Hjalti feels like some very fine wine. And that's heavy, so I'll eat it. And that's heavy. Oop. Did not mean to eat that. And sure. Change into his town clothes, although it is rainy and unpleasant out. Grit his teeth and run his errands to just seem to be here in town on normal business, so there'll be fewer questions asked when he goes leaving early in the morning. After probably feeding on somebody. I'm going to hit up the blacksmith first, actually, or after I talk to this beggar. It's before,
Oh,
Adrienne goes
thank you.
indoors to where her
Divine
husband
bless
is.
your kind.
Because when she does that, she usually makes his inventory become the same as hers, which makes him worthless and basically takes away one of the 2 blacksmiths in the city. No! Oh good, she's not rolling in yet.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to... I don't claim to be the best blacksmith in Whiterun.
Are you not
Nor
going
that
to let
Raymond's
me buy
got that
things?
honor. Man's steel is legendary. All I ask is a fair chance. Have you met my father?
There we go.
Blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
Let's see. If I was using shields, I'd certainly want that, but I'm not. So, let's sell... I should sell these things, first of all. Since they're... Let's see. Get rid of more carry weight for the amount of money. Weapon skill enchantments are often the most expensive available enchantments in the early game for anybody who's doing enchanting crafting. So, later on there'll be some more
Now don't let the
armor
name
enchantments.
looking to protect yourself or deal
Do
some
you have a separate
damage.
inventory, as you're supposed to? Good. I do want those, except that they're 10 pounds in heavy armor, so won't do it for that reason. Alright, you take that, and I guess that's it.
Good doing business with you.
I'll hit up the other shops now.
Old friend, patron of the
You
great
mean
Grand
Patriarch. I don't think it's supposed to be a malaprop, rather. I think just the writers got the word wrong.
Let me know
Well.
if you see anything you like. You look rather pale. Could be a taxi.
If it wasn't for the fact that she'd always said
Quite a
that, you
problem.
might think that she
Take a
was
look.
suspecting that he was a vampire. But, no. You would think that, like, people who are experts on disease would know about the symptoms of vampirism. Apparently not. I think I have enough of all these things. You don't happen to have any... Wow! Up until, like, this last episode and now, I've never seen alchemists really sell this before. I just checked thinking that maybe it would be on their list, but I'm really lucking out with that. Great. Alright, well, let me sell things that I don't need. Weaker than what I have elsewhere. Worthless to me, weaker than what I have elsewhere. Ingredients. Sure.
Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
Then head over to Bellathor next door, I guess.
Thinking of settling in?
I really haven't had great luck finding enchanted
Take a good look around.
armor.
I'm
I've
sure
been waiting all game to find good fire
everything's-
resistance.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call them
Depth robes,
treasure.
again, if it unlock as it hit level 20. You unlock it every multiple of 10 level. It's like expert unlocks at 30. Nothing useful. Nope. Okay, well, I'm killing Thalmor, taking their clothes. Sold those already. Scrolls don't really weigh me down much, so although I do want to get rid of some of them, I shouldn't prioritize it. I also shouldn't prioritize these, but I'm going to.
Do come back.
Not many people will buy jewelry, and it's worth a lot of money. I just want to get the clutter out of my inventory, basically. Alright, that's about it. So I'll sleep, and hopefully the rain will end.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
Probably sleep until quite early in the morning, both because he's tired and because he wants everybody to be fast asleep when he leaves. Since he'll probably be making a brief pit stop along the way. Everybody will still be in the inn for silly reasons, because basically they just freeze while you're going to bed, even though they should be in bed themselves and would be if you've been walking around.
Need something?
Well, if you're here, then I probably won't go feed on his wife, because he might walk in on me. That could be awkward. It's not what it looks like. Ah. Too many guards about here. I don't think his house is a rear entrance either. Well, enough scoping around there. Whose blood can I use? What? Is there a fight going on here? Is there a vampire attack somewhere? Where? There it is. Okay, you get involved there before any citizens get killed. I thought most of these guys stop once you started the vampire quest though. Guess not. There's no explanation in the quest on why these guys are attacking you. They're not Volkihar vampires, so I have no idea what they're doing. No explanation whatsoever. Just like a really sloppy attempt at like a plot to get you involved. We could have done that so much better, or at least just like followed up on it, had it matter in some way, had there be some kind of connection to these vampires, but there's not.
They say if a vampire so much touches you, you'll turn into one. That better not be true.
Too many guards, but too many people have seen me. Thought the hope was going to travel around the road, perhaps. Still time before dawn. What an unpleasant night to be traveling. Hopefully there'll be a different weather on the other side of the gate. Nope. Oh, yep. Sort of. It's not raining here, it is raining. Whatever.
What do you need?
Weather often completely changes on opposite sides of city gates. Kinda sloppy. What's that? Oh, there's Khajiit over there. Well, that's great. Are they fighting like a death hound? Is that what's going on, maybe? That would make sense. Cats and dogs. That is right. Don't worry, I'll save all of you. I think she's unkillable. I'm not sure. I might be mixing her up with the other old woman in town, who has a non-important role to play in the assassin line, therefore is unkillable. One of the Khajiit is a wizard. I never even knew that. The lightning is. Alright. Oh, I'm so glad to be finding Khajiit again here. It's been such a long time. So tempting. Like, I don't even use shields and I kind of want that thing. You know what? It's only 4 pounds. I may take that along and, like, cast spells one-handed from time to time. As long as I never actually block with it, I shouldn't get any block experience. Nah, won't do it. Tempting, though. Ingredients, 4 moonshine. I guess is about average for them. Anything good there? No? Okay, well, what can I sell you? How about scrolls that I don't need, and this has just got some vampire stuff, right? Or did I not loot that? Maybe that vampire didn't have anything worth taking, I forget. Potions, scrolls, alright. Maybe let's get rid of some of these gems. Sure, that'll do.
May your road.
Oh, well.
I feel like I'm higher on carrying capacity than I would like to be, considering how few things I have left that I can sell. Well, off I go. And the rain has stopped, so that's nice. And the clouds have just completely vanished mysteriously. You know, I'm not aware if there's like a lore explanation of what rain is, whether it truly is just, you know, evaporated water coming up off the oceans and then, you know, pouring down, or whether it's some kind of supernatural phenomenon. Like, the sun, allegedly, is a hole to Aetherius, left by Magnus leaving the world, and sunlight is like him pouring magic back into the world. Not that that's ever followed up on, because like it's not like magic is stronger during the daytime or anything like that, which might make sense. Whatever. So yeah, I have no idea what the lore is about rain. Not sure the question was addressed. Are these 2 vigilants over there? Yeah, looks like it. Continue to not recognize that I'm a vampire. Now that I'm out here, I can probably change into my traveling combat clothes now that I'm out of sight of that tower, or will be shortly. Right. Archmage, and Morokai, and Necromancer's Amulet. Sounds good until morning when I better switch to the Ring of Recharging. Maybe I'll level myself. Again, I don't want to level my illusion too much, now that I've got the perk that I'm looking for. But some leveling it is useful. Eventually there's a really great perk that I definitely want at skill level 70, and a fantastic one at skill level 90, but there's no way I'm ever going to get there. Fort up there, full of bandits. I'd like their, like, stuffed dummies up top to make it look like their numbers are higher. Nice little thing people might try to do. So, ooh, somebody's up ahead there on the road. Wonder if it's friendly or not. Friendly. Ooh, and a dragon. So I'm going to take off that mask, put on this instead, and see what kind of friendly we're talking about here. It has been such a long time since we fed on anybody.
I'm on my way to Windhelm to join up with the Stormcloaks. Ulfric right of it.
Underway. You'll remember nothing. Dragon over there. I think that's, Alduin resurrecting somebody. Yeah, must be. That makes more sense. So I guess we have a dragon fight coming. Speaking of things that are coming, let me equip my Amulet of Mara and see what the next step in the questline location is. There, okay, so if I head most of the way to Rorikstead, I should find it. Back to Necromancer's Amulet. It doesn't look like Alduin. It doesn't have as many spikes as he does. Maybe it's... Oh, I think I know. I think I saw Alduin resurrecting that dragon before when I was coming this way from Markarth, but I detoured off the path, didn't actually fight him. So he must have resurrected the dragon and then flown away himself, and that must be the resurrected dragon. I think his name is like... the Volyotnar or something like that? Might misremember that. Little ruin off the side of the road here with a minor puzzle to it, like one of those, animal puzzles. Who are those people? Are they the revelers? Wow, they're just partying hard with the dragon right there. I guess if I talk to them, they'll disperse and hopefully not get killed.
Hey! But you look tired. He smears this good deed. Cheers, my friend. May your adventures find you fame and fortune.
Giant camp over there. There are a lot of giant camps in this region. What are those, like wolves? Okay, fine. Let's dodge there. So, where were the clues to this puzzle? There's a reason I want to do... Ah, okay. Are they in these things? That would make some sense. Is there a giant nearby? Ah. Okay, whale. I'm assuming they mean this one should be a whale. Pointing in some direction? Probably just like this. Maybe. What about this one? Anything over? Where are the others? I only half remember this place. I once did it just by guess and check. There's only 27 combinations. It's not too bad. Serpent for this one. I could just try them all on this third one if I can't find the clue for it. Might be the most effective. Should open this grate on the ground, which makes no sense, but whatever. Ah, there we go. I'm doing this because, as I recall, there's like a guaranteed copy of a destruction skill book in here. Might be wrong about that. Yes! It's a minor treasure, but that destruction skill book is very welcome. I've been trying so hard to level my destruction, and it's so tedious. Ah, that is Sleeping Tree Camp over there. A unique place. I may see... I mean, this dragon will take a long time to fight anyway. I may see if I can pull him over there, have them help finish him off, and also tour that place a little bit. The dragon's like right on the way, so probably need to fight him at some point anyway. I think his name is Volyotnar. Random stray horse. Well, that'd be worthless. Come on, dragon. Gonna aggro to me now? There we go. So I don't know if he's a fire or an ice dragon. I guess we'll find out. Oh, real nah. Must mean slaying the dragon language, but I have no clue what. Nice, he's a frost dragon. So if I get behind these rocks, I switch to my frost boots here. Put on Marokai and eat an Ellsworth fondue. Oops. That dodged one, but it's kind of stuck. Right, I'll see if I can pull him over here to Sleeping Tree Camp. Hopefully we can make shorter work of him. Yes, working. So far, anyway. Giants do pretty hefty damage. The mammoths should hopefully get involved at some point. They're just being lazy right now. Don't know why. They've been having too much of the sap. At least something over there is aggro to me, unfortunately. Yeah. So this is the Sleeping Tree, the only one in all of Skyrim. So if you're looking to farm Sleeping Tree sap, you're out of luck. There's only like one source of it, and that's here. We can only get one sample. Although there are a few other guaranteed ones around here that I will show you most of. So Sleeping Tree sap, maybe you've seen it a couple times before on random drug dealers. They usually have like 1 or 2 sets of it. They can drink one themselves, and it gives them like a bunch of hit points that then go away, plus 100 temporary hit points, which is enough of that normally worthless effect to actually be worthwhile. It's like the weird maple syrup of this weird drug with no explanation. I do like that Skyrim has that strange, random location like that. The game is just full of all kinds of interesting, whimsical, beautiful locations, but never any real follow-up on them, never any real setting development, never any kind of thing to really make them worth the time and trouble. And that's this entire section of the main quest is like, it doesn't actually matter. It's like a cool place, but it doesn't matter. Oh, is he hostile? Yes, he is. I can ragdoll him like that. I don't think I'll take these bones. I really don't want the money. It's just heavy. Okay, well, I've aggroed everything. I'm just going to run into this cave here and show you what this is about. Here. So, cave, another unusual thing about this giant camp. And there's a corpse of a slaughtered orc in there. A lot of people would like to marry Isolde back in Whiterun. They perhaps don't know about this. Let me chest, loot the chest. Pretty solid. So 2 guaranteed copies of it right there. He's got another one and this message here, which I will read once I'm out of here, because the giant will kill me in 1 shot easily. So get out of here, get away from these giants, get back to my previous activities. Ah, wolf over there. I like how mammoths shake the ground as they chase you. Makes sense. I just cannot stop fighting the wildlife today. Oops, still chasing. They're really slow. Mammoths, by the way, are, I talked about some enchanting stuff earlier. Mammoths are a fantastic resource for enchanters. Just irreplaceable. They're like the game's only good source of grand souls. They're available from like level 1. They're plentiful, they always have grand souls, guaranteed, and they're really trivial to kill for anybody who has any kind of ranged attack at all. So, amazing stuff. Another dragon. That probably is Alduin over near Rorikstead. That would make sense geographically. Resurrecting Nahagliv, I think. So here's Gukar's monument, where the next step of this Mara quest line continues. And again, a missed opportunity. I like this kind of quest. It's interesting, I like this kind of story, but they don't actually make it work. They don't really follow through on it. They don't give you any kind of real development of these characters we're about to meet. That's a waste. I do like this kind of ghost story type thing. It could be like, if it was done well, like a touching kind of story, but it's not.
I'm searching for my Fenric. He was marching with Yukar's
This is Gyukar's monument. We don't find anything else about them. If we had some kind of background, if we heard legends about them, people wondering what happened to Gyukar, it might be more interesting. So if you ever wonder what this monument is for, this is it. It's just this one quest.
Please help me look. He has a bright red beard and hair.
No real response, but whatever.
Are you a fool? Look at the bodies around you. Even if you're blind, surely you can smell the blood.
So she's not aware she's a ghost and that all these centuries have passed as she looked for him.
Help me search for Fenric.
I don't really understand ghosts in this setting necessarily. I don't think there's any kind of good book that explains where they fit in the lore. Like, how they relate to all the other things that can happen to souls and things like that. And it seems to be different in every game. They're just kind of like generic creatures that you fought in Oblivion, whereas here they look like people, they talk like people, they can apparently be frightened like people in some cases. I don't know what would cause like a soul to be stuck on Earth as opposed to being soul-trapped, which would be totally different, or going to Aetherius as the gods would probably intend, or things like that. No real explanation. I'm showing you this site here. I've talked about it a few times. It's Shrine of Zenithar, so fantastic stuff because that's a stackable blessing for sell prices if you're trying to do that. And also, there's a guaranteed amulet of Zenithar around here, but it often clips through this pedestal here, so if you turn on no clip yourself, you can find it. Or it might actually not glitch, it might just be up on the table where it belongs. Alright, so now I need to go find Fenric. I have no idea how you're supposed to do that without the quest marker, because he's not anywhere near around there. He's like on the other side of this mountain over there. And there's nothing that would point that out to you other than... Wouldn't that just check for you guys? Wouldn't that just fight Truckload of Wolves? Whatever. And the Kelty wouldn't rob from the gods, so that's why he didn't loot that shrine. Another shrine over here. Don't know why there's so many shrines. Don't know what this mountain's about. I'm the kind of like person both like in this game and out walking around where if I see any kind of interesting landform, I want to just get to the top of it and see what it's about and something interesting up there. But there's not in this case. There's no location marker for this one hill out in the middle of this vast tundra. Nothing like that. Oh well. No explanation of why there's so many old shrines around here. Does make a little shortcut though to go find Fenric. Another dragon. Really? Hopefully not. Hopefully I can avoid another dragon. Dragon fights are getting kind of tedious at this point. And Kelty doesn't see any particular reason he should be fighting every single dragon. What is aggroed over there? A lot of things, apparently. Dragon is fighting something. It's an ice dragon again, so that's good for me. What is it fighting? Oh wait, is it an actual ice dragon? Oh, that's very bad for me. The ice dragons are their own type of dragon, and the problem is they're super, super tough. They're a higher level kind of dragon than they have been fighting. So they're going to have many, many times more hit points and therefore be really, really boring to fight. Hopefully it'll ignore me, but all these, whatever these people are they bandits? Yeah, they're bandits. With all these bandits to back me up, I'm sure we can take it down together. As long as they don't turn on me. Which I'd like them to do. I think I see one shooting at me. Really, man? This is your response to this? You're really doing this? I should be thinking of like, AI prioritization of enemies at some point. Make them not turn on a fellow human being when they're fighting a dragon. So frost dragons, yeah, are like any other frost-breathing dragon, they're vulnerable to fire, but they're just a super high-level dragons that do more damage and they're tougher. There's Fenric over there. Are there wolves over here too? It's just gonna be like a, as Voltaire said, uninterrupted carnage. All across the plain. Where's the other one? Come on. Get it over with. Alright, we're lost. Do I have my Ring of Recharging on yet? I should now. I have to wear the... Oh. The mammoth that needs to fall. So it's being teleported. And it's not even falling. It's just stuck. Whatever. This game is so buggy even with the unofficial patch sometimes. It's odd because they clearly take a lot of pride in their work at some points, but not in other places. So here's Fenric.
Rookie? Where is she? We're expected to fight there tomorrow. Jukar elected to camp here for the night.
It's Gyukar, not Jukar. Oh, wait. Just for the follow-up on that. Why doesn't like the camp and then...
Rookie?
Where is it?
We're expected to fight there.
There we go.
Our fires are visible for miles.
I'm a sitting duck right now too.
City
He won't help fight or anything like that. That would be too convenient. It's not really dangerous to me because like, I have enough frost resistance, so it's not fair. He's not going to leave me alone. I guess I need to actually deal with this stuff. There's some giants over there. Hopefully it'll go fight them instead. They'll do some heavy damage to hopefully bring it down eventually. Yeah. Oh! Sorry, man. He would have aggroed me anyway eventually. Well, that complicates things a bit. There we go. Alright, talk to me. Blah, 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 blah. I need to get this spot. There we go.
If she's come this far from home,
right. So it's not really followed up on, but it must have been like killed in an ambush, basically. It's therefore he wasn't buried among the actual dead at the battlefield site. So I have to keep wearing this lousy. Oh no! I'm sorry. Well, it's not landing this time. It's being smart. I hate it when my enemies are smart. I still have my Elsewhere Fondue on. For 1 minute. I don't think I'm going to use another one for just like the second half of this dragon fight. Come on. Whatever. You know, your response to a dragon fight should never be whatever. That's like a big, big set. You know what? Screw it. I'm not fighting this dragon anymore. It's going away, I'm going away. If your response to like a dragon attacking you is whatever, the game has managed to make something very, very boring out of what should be a monumentally fun, spectacular kind of encounter. Like, a giant is fighting a dragon and a mammoth over there. Like, that should be amazing and spectacular and just like so cool, and the earth should be shaking, they should be like knocking each other around, and kicking up all kinds of dirt and things like that, but no, it's just like boring. They hack into the generic attacks, doing minor damage. Why are you... Crystal, why are there so many bandit chiefs in your bandit troop? Like, how does that work? I mean, like, the first time I was playing Skyrim, of course, dragon fights were new and fun and exciting, but, you know, quickly they all just become exactly the same thing. Maybe with higher stats that just make things even more boring. Are you actually yielding, or... And we're going the same way. You've seen me with my mask, so you have to die. The biggest problem, I think, with dragons is that they only know one word in their language, which again is like breaking the lore that Skyrim itself made up. Like, why are we going to make up all this lore if you're not going to actually use it? Again, missed opportunity. Dragons should know dozens of shouts each, which all have different effects and require different strategies to approach and overcome them. They should fight you with, you know, minions of various kinds, like Draugr or dragon servants, of course, are supposed to be in lore. There should be more special circumstances for the dragon fights too. They should abuse their ability to fly. And there should be rewards for player skill too, like needing to hit them in a vulnerable area like the underbelly or an eye. Actual skill-intensive ways to dodge their attacks instead of just like equipping generic fire resistance gear and things like that. That would make things more interesting. That would be much, much better. And if I was making a game that's all about fighting dragons, or like, at least substantially about fighting them, I'd probably include things like that, but they didn't. Is it like a troll over there fighting something? Whatever. Had enough random encounters for the time being. There's still more dragon fights coming up. At least that one guy, Nahag, lived near Rorik's. I can't leave a dragon, like, near a town. If I went out in the wilderness fighting giants and whatever, would just die. Alright, so here's Gyukar's monument. So hopefully Fenrig and Ruki will both be there. Or will show up once I get there. And we can move on with things. Because he does feel good to be doing the bidding of the gods here. It helps assuage his conscience after all of the horrible crimes he perpetrates to further his own interests. He likes to be able to feel
Of course
pious
I
and
am.
righteous.
What brings you here?
I had heard that Yukar's men were wiped out.
I don't know how she became a ghost. Like,
Came to find you.
did she?
But that battle isn't expected until tomorrow. Rookie, what's going on?
I don't really know myself.
I'm so confused. What's happening?
It doesn't matter. I'm here. We're together now. And we will be forever.
Right. That could be really touching if we knew more about these people, if we had, you know, more to do interacting with them, more time spent getting to know them as we try to reunite them, things like that. If there were, you know, maybe like a song that you hear about these two, you know, forlorn lovers always looking for each other, things like that. All kinds of ways that could have made it actually emotionally matter, but they utterly failed to do that, and were just lazy instead. Well, we're back on the road here. Close to Rorikstead. So, once I get back to Riften, I can report that people went to Aetherius. That's where you go when you die. You don't get soul trapped or whatever. Aetherius, up beyond the stars. Where, like, it's basically just like heaven. And then I guess I can get my long-awaited Mara Blessing, which is incredible. Speaking of Mara, I should probably wrap this up as soon as I get to or near the Karth Spire, since I need to go cook 4th of July dinner for the actual Mara. 4th of July is the anniversary of our very first date, actually, so I intend to cook the exact same thing that I made that night. My famous turkey meatballs and mozzarella sauce, I think. Maybe with some garlic bread and mushrooms with onions and parmesan, I think. Something like that sounds good to me. Yep, so that's Alduin resurrecting a dragon, Nahagliv. It's always dark and stormy around whoever was doing this. I don't know if he actually does a shout to make it like that, or if it just is. Oh, there's his Slentealed Vol shout to resurrect it. If you attack him, it becomes like hostile, but doesn't actually do anything to fight you, so it's all pointless. He just kind of doesn't do his whole dialogue, but the thing does resurrect, so it doesn't matter. Don't ever stand on those things as the dragon's being resurrected. Do nothing get stunned or ragdolled. Don't want that when the dragon's around. So, Nahagliv, are you a fire dragon or an ice dragon? Probably fire, I'm betting. Oh, yeah. So. Ice spikes. And let me switch probably to my Talos amulet, actually. Ring of Destruction. I'm going to switch my shout to be become ethereal so I can dodge his fire. I did not want to get hit with this as a vampire. Now, don't him attacking the people of Rorikstead, so maybe I can lure him over here to, he has like a Forsworn camp over there. Sick him on the Forsworn. Nahagliv is a nobody, just the same as, like, you know, Volyotnak or all these other generic dragons that get resurrected by Alduin. No background, no personality, nothing like that, which is, again, a big waste. Every dragon fight should be special in some way. And all of them should matter. For some reason, they made him, and him alone, a card in Elder Scrolls Legends. Quite a strong one, actually. One I used quite a lot, because I used to play a lot of Sorcerer. He's in their colors. There he is. I think he's noticed the fourth one. Maybe not. Shooting's overhead burst does 6 damage to that. But they gave him, like, for some reason, Salaconir's dialogue, so I'm not even sure if they did it as Nahagliv on purpose. It might have been a mistake and they meant to make it Salaconir. Who knows? That would make more sense, because, like, Salaconir was, like, posted more or less as, like, a guard by Alduin. Whereas this is just some dragon near Rorikstead. The card is impervious to spells, basically, which would, be quite a nightmare for a mage like me to fight against. It made it the fun card for me to play back during the time when Tribunal had just become like the new meta and everyone was playing that. I hated fighting that deck, so we really stomped on them hard. I played several other cards that just crushed them completely. Those were fun days. Before the dark times. Before Hlaalu. Alright, hopefully he'll like land in or near their camp and start fighting them. They, of course, will start fighting me for no reason, so I need to watch out for that. Also, I haven't checked for wildlife in a while. If there's like a saber cat around here, I want to know about that. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Yes, good boy. Fight them instead of me. As I said before, Hjalti absolutely hates the Forsworn. Little more than vermin. Not even real Bretons. Pretenders to, you know, Breton ancestry with grotesque, barbaric, and thoroughly vile culture, consisting entirely of demon worship, creating undead, mutilating animals, and all kinds of things like that. I think I actually missed him. I think it like went under his armpit as he turned around. Would have hit him if he hadn't turned. Was he getting distracted over there? Come on. It's not enough to have to fight all these dragons, but they also get distracted constantly. I think there's an arrow aimed at me. Come on, Nahago, don't drag this out any more than it has to. Fine. Can't leave him on the loose near Rorik said, so. What are you even fighting? What was more important than like me and all those Forsworn? Is it like a rabbit? Is it like a wolf maybe? Whatever it is, it's hostile to me too. Oh, it is a Forsworn. There's some random Forsworn out here away from their camp. Why? Alright, you know what? Get down there. Alright. Did he not die? What? No, I guess he did that. It just took a long time to do so himself for a while. But it's not as much cover as I expected the rise to the ground to give me. I think I'd better switch to Ring of Recharging. Jeez. Who's he going to fight now? Oh, Sabercat is over there too. Oh, he's still just fighting me, you're just wasting my time. Okay. I am sick of dragon fights at this point. Especially because that previous recording, that dragon that was an ice dragon this time was a regular old dragon, so I ended up actually fighting it all the way through, and that's ended up being 4 dragon fights that day, actually. Wow, landing right on top of me. I should be dead, but I'm not. We've almost got you rounded. Almost. Almost is grounded near their camp. They're still only focusing on me. I don't really know how they choose their targets. That fireball spell is quite easy to dodge. Still only looking at me? Really? If this Forsworn were allowed to help, we'd have already killed him. But he won't actually fight me. Alright, well he's grounded now. Near their camp, so hopefully some of them will get involved in this. If I run around the entire outside. Achilles around the walls of Ferrari chasing after Hector. Oh geez, dead end, huh? It won't be a dead end for me. Really? You guys are going for me too? Nahago is finally going for you guys. He's sensitive. Well, not really. Of course, one of their stupid headdresses. What is it? I need to spend a level up just to like get out of this mess and heal myself for half my magic every second. I can do it, but it's making me make no progress. I'm just trying to get this over with already. Level up, and I'll probably go finish him off like that. What perk? Well, I think I'm going to finish leveling Destruction. I could take... I'm far away from any kind of useful illusion. I don't really need to level up that. I need to have a whole bunch of perks there for that to be useful. I really can't wait to hit level 60 Destruction, but that's still a ways off. Restoration is some good stuff coming again at 60. Alteration, nothing really good coming up other than... There we go. Alright, so I'll take that perk. I can now do things like Fireball at half price. Alright. I'm not taking the bones, they would weigh me down too much. Let's just move on. Back to the road and back to the adventure. Won't bother with this Forsworn. Especially because I have a much cooler, more interesting Forsworn dungeon coming up. One that I quite enjoy. Like, I do feel like this quest line that I'm doing right now in the main quest is actually fun. With some cool locations and fun things to see and do. It's just that it's ultimately pointless, and it shouldn't have been. They should have made it actually matter for the story. They should have had things followed up on. We should get some kind of real, interesting conclusion to the Blades Thalmor thing, and we should find some kind of actually necessary clue to how to advance the main quest from here, rather than what we find being stuff that's obvious that we already know. That's just dumb. Also, we could totally just climb up this mountain and reach Skyhaven Temple that way, without having to do this whole rigmarole. It's a wonder nobody else tried it. Alright. Mud crabs, always lots of mud crabs here. Back in this beautiful reach. Oh, a bear! Somewhere. Is that it? Is it somewhere else? I better make sure I know where the bear is. I almost never find bears in this part of Skyrim, for whatever reason. We're quite near Markarth, that's where the Karth Spire is, because that's where Karth is. We're almost there. Yeah. I think that is the Karth Spire. Oh no, sorry, that thing. The next rise is Karth Spire. I would expect it to be the more dramatically pointy with its name, but it's not really. Just one of the many, many, many mountains. Still, cool name. I just enjoy when like random geographical features have names and sound like they have some kind of history to them or things like that. Oh, there's that other dragon. I was hoping not to fight it this time. That's going to ruin everything, because like there's some dialogue you can have as you're and it's an ice dragon too. Jeez, this is going to be so tedious. You can get some dialogue with like, just I'm going to take off my mask too if we travel around here. Dialogue before you approach the Forsworn camp. You can have, fun tactical time approaching because it's a unique one in this layout. Are you one of the Nords who will like, pick a fight with me if I... Whatever, I'm not going to fight you. I've had enough of this nonsense. You run to safety, civilian. Well, I'll skip all that stuff and skip all the fun parts about this camp and just like fight the dragon up there and let the Forsworn save me some time. There they are. There's Delphine and Esbern waiting. And normally we could talk to them about our approach here, but we can't do that anymore. We just have to waste our time fighting the dragon. We get pulled into the Forsworn camp immediately.
I could use a hand here.
It is, appropriate and cool to be fighting dragons with the blades. We should have more of that in like the main quest. A big Atronach was summoned up there because there's some powerful Forsworn casters in this place. Again, it's a cool outdoor dungeon. It's this whole like bridges and tents over the river kind of thing that you never see anywhere else. So very enjoyable. In a very cool landscape ship. Nord ruins in one mountain. And they're just charging into the... Oh, here's a Forsworn. Moderately strong one. An Atronach is no use against a dragon, but quite good against this Forsworn on the ground, so he shot me up while I'm trying to fight said dragon. Why is it not hostile? Weird. Very weird. Never seen this kind of behavior. Force One, remember, count as like Bretons for the race, basically. So, they reduce all magic damage, but no one element in particular. Alright. Why aren't the other Force One hostiles to us yet? It's appropriate they would be fighting the dragon instead, but normally they're all fighting us at this point. I'm gonna run in here and see when that happens. They're bugging in some way. Well, that's weird, and we'll ruin things even further. Fine. Just have to put up with that. Alright, I'm gonna eat Nails of our Fondue to speed things along here. Hopefully we get them actually properly hostile where they're supposed to be. I was complaining about the bandits attacking me instead of the dragon. Now I'm complaining about that not happening with these Force One. But here it's because of some kind of bug that I've never seen before, and I'm afraid about that breaking the game. So, and also slowing me down in this fight. One big problem here is there's no good room for the dragon to land, and you often do fight the dragon here, which is stupid. But anyway, there's room for it to land, so it often ends up flying to some totally distant, inaccessible random perch when it crashes, which then makes things even more tedious. What's the question mark even pointing me to? I'm not sure. I guess I'm going to run toward it and see what the question marker is trying to do.
Come on, what are you waiting for?
So, okay, so they're hostile to the Force One, but the Force One are not hostile to us? What? Okay, well, I'm not going in there until I kill this dragon, obviously, and advance things. Alright, let me, like, try to frenzy the Force One. Will that make them hostile? There are a lot of them. Sorry, Espen. Get in the way of that. Wait, how, what are you... Huh? So normally I approach this place tactically and I use like stealth and things like that to you know, set them upon each other, and it's fun, but oh well. Where'd the dragon go? Lots of guys around here, as you can see. Fun melee too. There's the... Okay. Lost dragon. It's almost grounded. Ooh, they have a Hagraven here. A rare kind of creature, and quite dangerous. Whoa! What in the world just hit me? I'm not even sure. Well, using poor tactics, they're just advancing in there to talk about things, so... Esbern... Oh, I thought he was down, but he's not. Oh, this guy probably did. So Hagravens are extremely dangerous creatures. Because their spells are not leveled. They have super strong spells, if you're like a low-level character. They have massive self-heals. They have Fireball, so you're very dangerous to a vampire. Claw attacks too, not that really matters much. Is this mine? If we all surround it, we can probably bring it down. If we have good stuns. Forsworn like worship these things, even though they're horrible monsters that witches shred into, or some of them might just be actually natural monsters. I'm not sure if they're all greater than witches. And they, you know, torture and mutilate wildlife and do all kinds of horrible, unpleasant things. You know, kind of think the Forsworn will prove up to be the Forsworn are just the worst thing in the setting. Oops. Wow, things went from bad to worse over here. Alright, got it before it healed itself. Now I just need to get over there without getting my feet wet. Maybe if I take this path. I wonder if they have a Force One Briarheart around it. Those are Force One bosses who are undead, actually. Created again by the Force One by ripping out a man's beating heart and replacing it with like a briar for some reason. It's got a weird lich type thing, I guess, in a way. What are we even fighting down here, Esbern? It better not be like a mud crab or something like that. We wasted enough time. Alright, how long till it crashes? It's fighting a force run up there, that's good. What did we turn and shoot over there? Is there a force run in one of these houses? This land belonged to the Nords first, actually. It's not rightfully yours. And whatever claim you had to it, you have lost by mistreating the land, worshipping Daedra, and summoning undead out of ordinary human beings. Yeah, and they sacrificed, giants and other peaceful creatures like that too. I really have no sympathy for the Forsworn whatsoever. Neither does Shelty. Alright. Where's the dragon? Where's everybody else? Why is this... The game's determined to make this as unnecessarily long and tedious as it can, apparently. So. Powerful mage there, apparently. So let me see if I can... No, it's not yet. I think I want to kill this person using the power of the Ancient Lords. So. That's an appropriate way to dispose of a person who doesn't grasp the way of life and its importance. Hopefully that'll show her. She did fall into water. She might actually seriously live. We'll see. I got it. Okay, good. And where's that stupid dragon?
Where'd you go?
I don't know. Where did Esbern... Oh, there we go. We got grounded over here. Sure, whatever. Let's just finish it off. So, one thing I do like about the Forsworn is that I think they draw inspiration, besides from like the things like, the Roman portrayal of Celtic people and things like that. They also draw inspiration from a movie, which is quite underrated, I would say, but quite good, called The 13th Ward, based upon an actually overrated book by Michael Crichton. It's definitely a movie that has some major flaws. It's clearly damaged quite a lot in post-production, where they cut out a lot of actually important scenes just to reduce the runtime. But still has some very strong acting and fantastic sets and beautiful, landscapes and things like that, which I enjoy quite a lot, and some fun dialogue and moments. And it's also based upon, some stories that I like quite a lot. First of all, the story of Beowulf, which I've always loved, and also the actual historical story, heavily fictionized, of Ibn Fadlan, or to give his actual name, Ahmed Ibn Fadlan. Ibn just means son of. Oh, the cannons have been taken down. And that did not give as much cover as I expected. Right, so Ahmed Ibn Fadlan was an actual person who lived around 900 or so, roughly, in the city of Baghdad, which had recently been built, actually, by the Abbasid Caliphate. The Abbasid Caliphate had, built Baghdad to be their capital and had become, almost overnight, one of the largest cities in the world, perhaps the largest city in the world, for a short time. Right, well, basically there. So Ahmed Ibn Fadlan basically became interesting because he traveled way up north out of Baghdad to part of what is now Russia, where he found these people who were basically the Scandinavian Viking people who had taken over that area. And he wrote some travel logs about them and some descriptions of... Oh, never heard that dialogue before.
There can be no doubt. You are the dragon.
Right. So he wrote like one of our few written descriptions of these people and the way they live, which is a useful historical source, although he clearly also sensationalized things and lied about some of them. So, mixed bag there. But anyway, so it made for an interesting movie. And in that movie, the savage, primitive, barbarian people who are the ultimate main enemy dress a lot like these guys with these exact same kind of headdresses, although, yeah. So very, very similar, and I suspect that it did inspire the Forsworn of this game. Not least because besides that connection, the main character, other than Ibn Fadlan in the movie, has the actor who is a major voice actor in this game for Ulfric Stormcloak, among others. So another connection there. Anyway, that is where we'll end this. It took much longer than expected because of all those dragon fights. We've got a dungeon up ahead. Should be pretty fun. Have a great day, everyone.